Well, hello, I'm Alex, and today I want to share with you some of my creativity for life tips. In this series, we'll use coloring and art journaling to immerse ourselves in play. And as you play alongside me, I'll share with you some of my mindset tips. You see, I love mixing playful art making with powerful mindset ideas, and I think you'll love it too. Think of me as your personal trainer to get your creative mojo back on track. The way I see it, you can't have inner growth without creativity. One insightful moment of creative play can dissolve years of resistance, giving you newfound energy. The fun you have with your creative side spills over into all parts of your life, and igniting your creative spark, it gives you fresh eyes to try new things and make meaningful changes in your life. This is your creativity timeout, baby. Go ahead, check it out. Well, hello! Welcome back to another video about art journaling with a accordion book format. I'm going to make the next two videos about using this format to doodle mandalas and to keep your secret wishes. So I'll tell you about that in a second. If you haven't seen the other videos, they're about using this format with collage for art journaling. Okay, and if you don't know how to make this accordion book format, you can make it out of envelopes. It's super easy. It'll just take you a few minutes to stick a few envelopes together and fold them accordingly, and you have yourself a perfect portable journal that you can do in a few weeks, and then make another one and another one, or you can just extend them. As long as you keep one of your flaps available for sticking onto another one, you can expand your accordion books as much as you want. Okay, let's get into today's video, which is about doodling mandalas and writing wishes. So very quickly, you're going to want your supplies. You need a folded accordion book made of envelopes. Make sure you always look at the description of my videos because I give you links. So there's a link to a video to how to fold an accordion book made out of envelopes like this one. And yeah, once I get going, sometimes I forget some of the things I was going to say, so my descriptions will fill in any gaps if I do happen to forget something. This is my cheat sheet. This is a big mandala doodle I did, and I keep coming back to it to remind me what kind of shapes I can make. I also have this, what I call an index, and now your index could be way bigger than this. These are some very basic shapes, and I'll just be walking you through it as I do it. So you need a pen or a pencil. You need your favorite doodling tools, markers, highlighters, color pencils, crayons, whatever you want. You really only need one color today to follow along the way I'm doing it. Of course, you can always do it differently, but for today, I'm just going to be using one color. That's kind of part of the idea. You'll want some extra sheets of paper. It can be scrap, but you're going to want one clean sheet of paper because we are going to turn this into our note paper, our little slips for our wish notes. And you'll need some scissors probably. Okay, so let's get going. The first thing I want you to do is to pick your favorite color. So if you've grabbed your favorite markers, for example, pick one color, have a backup color, but all we're going to do is use one color for today. And then you're going to want to turn your mandala to the front. So how do you know which side is the front and which side is the back? Well, the back is the side of your envelope that actually has the pockets. Now by the time we're done doodling, these pockets will be invisible, which is another reason why I love using envelopes to make journals, not just because it's super easy, but because you get these secret pockets on the back side. Okay, I'm just going straight in with a permanent colored fat tip marker. Let's see here. And what we want to do is make circular mandalas. And we don't need to measure anything. We don't need rulers. We don't need a compass. We just need to draw circles. And since I started here with the circle, we go round and round the circle, repeating shapes. So I actually started this on this side. So I'm making 2 of these videos. And the reason I'm making 2 of these videos is because I'm going to go about it in 2 different ways. And let me grab another sheet of paper because I forgot. So you'll want one piece of paper for your wish notes and the other just to keep your desk clean. So you can just do one whole page. Finish off that page. So why don't I show you what that looks like. So I'm almost done with this page and I've got a few gaps here. So maybe I go like this and like that and like that, and maybe, let's see, I go like this. So we're doodling, we're not worried about it being perfect circles, and personally, I think it's so much prettier when it's been done by hand this way. So, you know, when we overlap, we just have to sort of guess where the shapes would land. I just wanted to finish this off to show you what that might look like. Okay, so let's say you did this page, and for today you're calling it done. Beautiful. Go ahead and write a wish and stick it in the pocket that's closest to the page you made. You'll notice that with these envelopes, because they're rectangular, there's one pocket for two pages. Okay, you're done. Today I'm going to show you how to just keep going and fill the front. So another way to go about it would be to, instead of doing one page and one wish at a time, to just have a piece of paper like this scrap paper that I'm using to protect my desk. I could also have a pencil here, and I could keep track of any wishes that pop into my head as I go. And just let the calming practice of the doodling, let those wishes sort of bubble up to the surface of my mind, but keep track of them, because they'll pop in your head and then they'll pop out again. And you'll wish you'd have written them down. So another way is to just doodle for as long as we can. If you only have 10 minutes, you only have 10 minutes. But just try to get one entire side of your accordion book done. So what does that look like? Well, that looks like this. What do you think? So here I used purple, and I kept doodling and doodling and doodling until it was done. And then at one point I wanted to see, what does it look like if there's a second color? What does it look like if there's a third color? But we're just focusing on one color for now. And then you could turn it over and you could do the same thing, or optional to do a paisley motif mandala style doodle. Why are we doing wishes? I should probably talk about that. Well, we're doing wishes because we're getting clarity on what matters most to us by writing our wishes. So a lot of people don't even know what they want. And so it's a good practice. It's a good practice to write your wishes. And it's a good practice to wish for the moon, right? This is for you. You don't have to share this with anybody. And we're actually writing them. We're getting them out of our heads. So you might think about them, but then you're not really focusing on them. So we're writing our wishes down, and we're sticking our wishes in our beautiful mandala accordion book, our art journal, our mandala art journal. and we're putting them in our secret pockets on the back side. And then we're releasing the idea of how these wishes will come true. So we're kind of releasing the need to control exactly how these things will happen. So usually you have a big wish and then you start thinking, but I'll never be able to do that. I don't know how to do that. I need help to do that. How in the world would I do that? You know, so we're sort of just having fun, using the mandala process to get centered, to be present, come up with our wishes, write the wishes, and then just let it go. And this is a way of magically activating the wishes. That's how I like to look at it. Your mandala art journaling practice can be a practice of centering yourself, about thinking about what you want, writing it down, and letting it go. So again, you start with a circular shape. As you can see, in this case, since I went into the fold, I'm going to continue the part that I started here. Right, so here, so there's scallop shapes that are super easy to do. There's leaf shapes that you could try. So there's like a pointy leaf shape, and there's all kinds of ways to embellish your shapes with marks, with dots, with circles. Let me go in here and do the dots. You're doodling between the lines. That's all you're doing. When you're making mandalas, all you're doing is doodling between the lines. What does that mean? It means you need to have some lines to doodle between. Our lines are circular, but they could be a paisley shape, which I'm going to show you in a second. They could be in a paisley shape. So you can draw shapes in both directions. So now I'm doing the scallops upside down, which is kind of fun. Zigzags, triangles, long, skinny. So any of these scallop shapes or these triangle shapes can be super long and skinny, or really wide and fat, and then you can duplicate them. If you take a scallop shape and make it really big, then that gives you space to draw some arcs inside it so it looks like a rainbow. Dots, you can alternate sizes, so a long scallop and a short scallop, or a long zigzag and a short zigzag. Hearts, leaf shapes. This is the one I just did, and then there's this one. Circles with dots inside them, little dashes with circles at the end. Here's the zigzag, big zigzag, short zigzag, undulating lines, stars. So let's just use that index to have some fun. So what could I do here? I think I'm just going to do some X's, or maybe I'll make them stars. Yeah, stars. And then I'll do another one of those. Okay, so I'm going to continue with the zigzags. All right, turn it over, and I'm going to start working on this one. So you don't have to, so the tracing of an existing shape helps you keep going, but it also might help you with drawing circles. So if you see that circle, it becomes a little bit easier to draw the next circles, either outside or inside, but it might bother you that that one's perfect and the others aren't, so it's kind of up to you. I'm going to do the other leaf shape now and leave a little space in between. So as you can see, this is really quick. The way I do it is really quick, otherwise I would get bored, and I don't want to do things that feel like they need to be perfect. Quite the opposite. I want to do things that feel easy and fun. Something you can do with the leaf shape is to draw a line down the center, just to give it a little more detail. You could also go in and do the little lines like that. So Some people do that for feathers, but it could also be, you know, symbolic of a leaf. Let's do one of these alternating zigzags. So it's a big zigzag, it's a small zigzag. Big, small, big, small, big, small. It's super helpful to turn your paper instead of trying to put your hand in weird positions. I don't always do that if I'm recording because I'm always worried I'm going to be off camera, which I probably do anyway, but there you go. What about some of those heart shapes? So now you could actually, you see how this triangular shape of the zigzag is touching the other line? Well, maybe you put something only there where you've touched the other line. So you can do repeating shapes that are always touching, but you could also play with the idea of expanding your mandala in a way where one thing builds on the other. So now I've got a lot of space in between. I can also, I'm going to do this real quick. The shapes will just pop into your head. So go ahead, as soon as something pops into your head, go ahead and do it. So the space in between could have dots, however many fit in there. Dots will be your best friend. Dots and stripes. When you don't know what to put in something. And then you can imagine if you started to color these in, even if you use only one color, if you started to color any of these little shapes in, you will get, like over here, you'll get a lot more contrast and a lot more play that way. So I'm going to go like this. And now I'm going to do a really long and skinny scallop. And where it overlaps, I just sort of have to guess what you would see there. You're going to have to give one of your mandalas priority in the sense that you're going to see more of one than the other when there's an overlap. So part of your materials is to have a blank sheet of paper. Go ahead and crease it long ways, halfway this way, and then go in and crease it again and again. So your objective here would be to have 8 pieces. I don't need scissors because once it's creased, it's going to be super easy to deal with. So here's 4, here's the other 4. I'm just going to grab one. So this would be one wish note, so you'd want to write your wish and then fold it once or twice so that you can turn it over and use your secret pockets, right, to stick your wish inside. All right, I do have some tips in terms of writing your wish in a strong affirmative way. And let me give you some examples. So if you start with I and make it an I am, I have, I know, I can statement, if you keep it in the present tense and if you keep it short, it'll be more helpful to write the wish that way. So here are a few examples. Maybe you say, I trust in my talents and gifts. So that's kind of an open-ended wish. You could be more specific. I'm getting good sleep and waking up full of energy every day. I have clarity on my projects. I'm open to having more fun with everything I do. That's kind of open-ended. You could be more specific. I'm having more fun at work. I'm having more fun with my kids. I hope you had fun taking this tiny playbook with me. And I want you to remember that there's always a way to bring more creative play into your life. And as long as you can play, as long as you can stay curious and try new things, you're never ever stuck. You just need to give yourself permission to play. Okay, I've got lots more ideas for you here on my YouTube channel. So subscribe, stay tuned, and come and play with me. Come back and gift yourself a little make stuff feel good energy. Thank you so much for being here, and sparkle.